My senior project at Whitworth University was a combination of my 2 degrees, religion and theater. What I did was I recited and performed the entire Gospel of John. That's a fairly sizable book in case you don't know, but don't worry, I actually did go through and edit it to make it a lot shorter, because if in fact I did do the entire gospel, people would have been there for 5 or 6 hours, and that would be a very, very boring performance, no matter how awesome the content is. So I felt rather weird going through the Bible and cutting things out, being like, hey, that doesn't belong there. Yeah, I felt kind of weird about that, but I really feel that it overall preserved the message of the Gospel of John and turned it into one awesome theater performance. It was a one-man show, so I recited the whole thing by myself. But what made it very engaging and very cool, instead of just like, hey, I'm gonna stand up here and read aloud this text, was I entered stage naked. Whoa, 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 and here's stage left, BeauCh in the nude. No, actually not, I was in my underwear. And even not even underwear, not like little stringy things we're talking about here. No. I had little tiny boxer shorts on and an undershirt, so I wasn't completely buck naked here. It was still appropriate. But the point is that I entered the stage with nothing on, being neutral, a blank slate. And I had in my sweaty little palm a suitcase. Big leather suitcase. And what was so cool about this was, if I dare try to brag about my performance, but I was really stoked about this, all right? I had in this suitcase the makings of a full-piece suit. So we're talking about the suit, the tie, a fedora, the black socks, the shoes, everything. And throughout the performance, I incorporated these clothing articles into the performance and used them. For example, the Samaritan woman, when Jesus is talking with her at the well, and they're having this really cool conversation back and forth. Well, my hat was the jar that she was pulling water up from the well with which she was pulling jar. Anyway, prepositions, English, blah. Yeah, isn't that cool, the hat? And then when I was done, I incorporated that into my entire full piece setup. The tie that I had a bright red tie that I actually got from Thailand, which you already know that joke if you, in fact, you've heard a previous awesome story about Thailand, the land of little trays. But anyway, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. I got a tie from Thailand. But what I used it for in the performance was I used it as a whip. And you know, when Jesus enters the temple and he's all like angry, tipping over tables, and telling people, why are you turning this church into a commercialized den of robbers and thieves? And he had a whip with them. By the way, cool thing that he actually had a whip. Yes, Jesus used a martial arts weapon. For a very good cause, of course. Yeah, that guy was pretty cool. But I used the tie, and so I swung it around and everything like that, and not like in a comical, kitschy sort of way. Like, it was really, really powerful, if I dare say so myself. And then when I was done, as I turned back to the audience and continued the narrative, I would slowly put on this tie until at the very end, I had a full piece suit and tie on. Yeah, but I don't want to leave you without imparting some form of a profound message that you can take to heart, and that is the following. Before the performance, a good friend of mine, Matt Park, was on his cell phone. Now, if you know anything about theater performances, you want to kind of, tune down the talking on the cell phone thing. Well, he kept talking louder and louder and louder. And another friend of mine, Chris, he was helping me out by sweeping up the stage, get it nice and clean beforehand. He noticed that Matt was talking rather loudly. And Chris, for some reason, had a sock hanging out of his back pocket. Yeah, just a sock. And so he went up to Matt and he requested the phone, and then he took the phone, he slipped it in the sock. He went to the center of the stage, and at that point everybody was sort of looking at him because this was pretty awkward. He swung the sock around the top of his head like a medieval morning star and smashed it on the middle of the stage, shattering this phone into a couple hundred pieces. Like, he really smashed it over and over again, actually. And then he quietly went back to Matt and hung him this drooping sock that contained now the disintegrated elements of his cell phone. And that is why you turn off your cell phones before a theater performance. In case you don't know, that whole thing was staged. Yes, aha, gotcha. No, I had went to the thrift store and got a phone and requested that they do this for me, so that people would actually listen and turn off their cell phones. Yeah, isn't that brilliant? A fun little way of communicating a rather awkward message. Ladies and gentlemen, turn off your phones. That's just lame, but to make it fun. Oh, it was so great. They were good sports about it, and everybody laughed when they realized that it was all staged. Ah, boy. So anyway, that is Enduo, which is Greek for power, my senior project.